Yeah, I'm going to do a fair use under the Section 107 Copyright Act 1976. Fair use, fair use. Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory. Kahalayim, Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa QaDash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To sisters, Yahawah, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Ram Yahawah with the lesson. You know, basically, get this 3D printed meat, eating your defiled bread amongst the heathen.
Bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
Campbell's Soup vice president just said that their soups have 3D printed meat in them. He was also caught on recording saying that Campbell's products are for poor people and that he won't eat them because he knows that they are unhealthy with the bioengineered meat in them. This was all caught on audio recording by an employee named Robert Garza of Michigan. Garza filed a lawsuit against Campbell's on Thursday and released audio he says features Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally. A Campbell's Soup Company spokesperson released a statement that said, "We are proud of the food we make, the people who make it, and the high-quality ingredients we use." The comments on the recording are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd. Keep in mind the alleged comments are made by an IT person who has nothing to do with how we make our food. If the recordings are legitimate, the comments are unacceptable and they do not reflect our values and the culture of our company. Mr. Bally is temporarily on leave while we conduct our investigation.
One of my homeboys that I worked with at the chicken plant told me what they just did to him 20 minutes ago and asked me, could I expose that place? I've been waiting for somebody to ask me to do a tell-all about Tyson fucking Foods. I still got the shirt. I use it to clean up in. So if you wanted proof that I used to work for them dirty motherfuckers, there's the proof right there. And don't jump up and down if you work for Pilgrims or you in HR at Pilgrims. Your ass is next tomorrow because you actually worse. First of all, let me just talk about the shit that I've seen. It's easy to get fired from Tyson Foods. All you have to do is be a good person. Tyson Foods will keep a shitty, problematic employee. I've seen it a dozen times. One good employee make one mistake that's not their fault, they canning them. Let's go down by detail. I saw with my own 4 eyes supervisors fucking folks that work on the goddamn line, and these men have wives at home. That's against company policy, or at least moral policy. Hell, people fucking in the parking lots. You coming to get your food off a break or whatever the fuck. They fucking in the cars, get out, throw the condom on the ground and look at you like you done something wrong by seeing them. Baby, I worked second shift and I saw a lot of crazy shit. You go to work drunk. You could go to work drunk off your ass. Everybody there except the older people were drunk. Yes. Down to the meat. I knew I wasn't going to work there for long when I told that little dumbass supervisor, he was younger than me. When I started working at Tyson, I was 23 years old. My supervisor was younger than me, so you know he was stupid as fuck. Anyway, I told him the meat was green and yellow and pussy, and it had holes in it, like deep holes. That's cancer. So when we showed that to our supervisor, it was like, run it anyway. If you got cancer and you ate McDonald's or wherever Tyson Foods distributed meat regularly, it was probably the motherfucking meat. I ain't lying. worked where you had to push the shit in this big ass blender and push it on down the line. It was motherfucking terrible. It got so bad, McDonald's was sending the shit back. If you eat at McDonald's now, your stomach should feel a little bit better. Because when I worked there years ago, McDonald's was sending the meat back because the meat was smelling horrible and it was terrible. But that's just some of the shit that I've seen. I've been waiting to expose Tyson. We can make this a series if you want to, but we...
Yeah, so this is Ezekiel chapter 14, Ezekiel 14, verse 12. And it says, and thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. So the Lord was speaking to Ezekiel, you know, and there's, see, everybody wants to be a prophet until, you know, until the Lord has you do some things you may not want to do, right? See, the prophets, hey man, look what the Lord's telling them to do. You have to be obedient to the Most High, right? It says you shall eat your food as barley cakes, having baked it in their sight, human dung. So you know how you make the cake, or you know, people, you know about pancakes, right? The batter, or even what's cornbread, right? You make your cornbread mix, or even a cake mix, right? You know, you put the egg, the flour, you know, things like that. You mix it together. But on top of, you know, the eggs and the flour, the Lord's asking him to take human dung, excrement, you know, shit, and put it inside the mixture, and then bake it, and do it while they're watching. Make sure everybody's looking at you, right? Because, hey, matter of fact, because what did the Lord say about this ministry of ours, this thing of ours, right? Yeah, so this is 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9. For I think that the Most High power, Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa, QaDash, have set forth us, the apostles last, right? Yeah, because we see that the truth came when the apostles were pretty much like the last ones to get on YouTube, if you think about it. Because I believe Nate Nim was on there, HOI was on there, and then, you know, then the apostles kind of came in between sometime, right? After that, they were like one of the last ones to really get on, out of the former One Westers, to get on YouTube, right? But as you can see, the you know, the scholastic work, right? The Lord said, what says, work or faith worketh patience, right? The truth worketh patience, right? It didn't look like they were the true men of the Lord in the beginning, when all the camp was against them. They were GM mess, right? They're just a mess. Hey, we come to find out, no, they're cleaning up your mess, right? But so the apostles were last, as it were appointed to death, right? Right, because it's a serious thing. Serious thing. It's deadly serious, man. Right? For we are made a spectacle, see? Right? And that's basically what Ezekiel was. The Lord asked him to be basically a spectacle. Put this man's excrements into your cake mix. Stir it up, mix it up real good, because in order for you can't leave it chunky, right? So you got to really get you got to really get into it to thin it out. So when it bakes, it bakes into the cake. Disgusting, right? But this comes from the Most High. And he's in to do it in front of everybody. So that basically he's making himself a spectacle, right? Unto the world, right? And what world is that? Cosmos, the Israelites. It wasn't, see? And there's another thing, when because the whole world wasn't there. You know? The world he was talking about was Israel. See? And to angels and to men, right? Because the angels are always encamp around them that fear the Lord. But not just that. The angels, says, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. Which that's who sins? The Israelites. So the eyes of the Lord, which are the angels, are always watching you Israelites, whether you know it or not. Right? You know? So that world is the Israelites. We are fools for Hamashiach's sake, but ye are wise. See? You're like, hey, we ain't doing nothing like that. We ain't finna stand out there in the streets. We ain't gonna be out there in the cold. We ain't gonna be in the heat. Right? We ain't gonna call ourselves Israelites. Right? We gonna throw you the connotation that the Edomite, which is our enemy, obviously he's our enemy, and we're gonna say the same system is our enemy and call you black when we keep telling you we're not black. Common sense tells you that. Little children, like I have my sister's son, my nephew, little young kid. I said, hey, no loaded question. What color are you? I'm brown. You ain't black? No, I ain't black. I'm brown. He even was like he was getting mad. Nah, man, I'm brown. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? And it makes sense. Little children know I'm brown, not black. Not your Hispanic or your Native American or a bunch of madness. You're the Israelites, right? You're a derivative, many different derivatives of brown, different shades of brown, and you're the Israelites, period, right? So-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Simple, right? But you could be wise to the ways of this world. But ye are wise in Hamashiach, which means you don't really know him. That's why he's going to say, get from me, I never knew you. Right? We are weak. Yeah, look at you. You're a bunch of bums. You're nobody. You know nothing. You don't know nothing. Right? But ye are strong. Oh, I got this thing. I got my job and I got... Hey, but come to find out, Trump is redefining what it means to be successful, right? A bachelor is no longer considered a you can't say you have a bachelor and be successful anymore. You know, it ain't no enough. It's not considered professional. It's not enough, right? But this is the Lord pulling the proverbial rug off from underneath your feet. And a lot of you are still simple. But ye are strong, right? Because you must be strong. The Lord's literally pulling a rug off from underneath you. And you're like, I'm gonna do my thing. Ain't nothing gonna stop. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna grind hard. I'm gonna get 2 jobs and 3 jobs. I'm gonna pull an EPT. You ain't gonna have no EPT for thanks stealing. I'm gonna go to the store and steal. Oh, They gave it back to, oh, they better have gave me back my, not one mention of the Most High. Pull the rug off of me. You must be strong. But ye are strong. Ye are honorable. Right? Right? Because everybody love you. They love you. They love you because you're of this world. But we're despised because we're telling you the truth. Right? We're telling you what it is, man. And it ain't always looked at as a good thing. We're spectacle. They take this man's excrement and mash it up and stir it up in a cake mix. Right? Make yourself a spectacle in their sight. Yeah, so this is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 21. For after that in wisdom of the power, the world by wisdom, right? Your way, your wisdom, this world's wisdom, wisdom of Esau, Edom, right? Knew not the power, the Most High, Yahawah, BaHaSham. You don't really know the Most High. And he don't know you either. At the end of the day. It pleased the power, the Most High, Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa, QaDash, by the foolishness, right? Because since we're fools, we're nothing. We're despised. But what we do, right, as despised people, as this foolishness, what? By the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. So we're doing the thing that, hey, it's stupid, but we're doing what's required, right? For the Jews required a sign, right? And the Greeks seek after wisdom. So if you say today's vernacular, which in that time it was talking about the Jews who grew up through the customs, and the Greeks are talking about the Israelites who didn't necessarily grow up in the customs or grew up in Jerusalem, right? They grew up in the Greek customs, spoke Greek or other languages, not just Greek. It was other languages that they spoke because they were from different places. Because it tells you that Jews out of every place under heaven, what's under heaven? The earth. You know what I mean? From every place, right? Which the cities, the countries, the places, the them being integrated into these other customs. But finally, what? Knowing who they are, because you come back to Israel, 3 times a year to do, feast of Feast of Tabernacles, right? The Feast of Weeks, the Passover, right? The harvest, the end harvest, right? So they would come during these different times. And it said Jews, devout men, out of every place under heaven. So that letting you know that they're from these different places, right? Hellenistic Jews, right? But we preach Hamashiach crucified, right? Because see, a lot of people, they heard about it, and some of them knew about it according to prophecy. But there had to be a preacher to point it out. You know that thing that happened over there in Jerusalem? When you heard that guy got crucified? Well, that guy was our Lord. He was Yahawashi. He was the Messiah. And that thing that happened, that's for fulfillment of Isaiah. That's the fulfillment of Psalms. Right? That's the fulfillment of Malachi. He was born in Bethlehem, right? In the city of David. He was raised in Nazareth, which makes him a Nazarene, right? Or what they would call a because people say they take the Nazarite vow, right? But and keep going, right? It says unto the Jews, right, natural, Israelites who knew the custom doing this, a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks, foolishness, right? In today's way, you would say, these so-called scholars, you Israelites who say that you know what's going on, and you're so-called supposed to be rehearsing the righteous acts. You're these scholars, and it says unto the Greeks, foolishness. You foundational Black Americans, it's foolishness to you, right? Because your thing is to be foundational to this place that's it's getting rooted up, right? And you're holding on to that custom. That's the same thing with you as back then. A lot of them held on to the Greekish fashion, the Greekish custom, which comes from Esau, from Edom, right? Wearing of the hats and this and that, having the guns and the weapons, the swords, which was, you're supposed to have sword, but that's not your go-to to everything, right? Jacob is meant to be a plain man dwelling in tents, not looking for trouble. That's why the Lord says that if you could be peaceable with all men, hey, try so, do so. But of course, you're not supposed to be just a pushover. But hey, it is what it is. But unto them which are called both Jews, right? Israelites who knows about the truth, understands the truth, right? With faith in Hamashiach Yahawashi and doing the commandments of the Most High, right? And Greeks, right? Ones who's coming back. You're in the Americanized or wherever you're at, whatever place you're living at. But I'm here in America, so a lot of people are Americanized, just like they were Hellenized or turned into the Greekish fashion. But they're turning back to the Messiah. And the Hamashiach, the power of the Most High, Yahawah, and wisdom of the Most High, Yahawah, BaHaSham Yahawashi, because the foolishness of the power of the Most High, Yahawah, is wiser than men, and the weakness of the power of the Most High, Yahawah, BaHaSham Yahawashi, BaHaSham QaDash, is stronger than men. So the Lord, hey, he knowing the ultimate overall, the end from the beginning, right? So these are all lessons, man, right? It's all for your benefit, but you might be made a spectacle. Come and look and do some things that you would never do, or you wouldn't want to do. But the Lord wakes you up out of sleep, man. Something that's beneficial for you, right? You may say it's boring, right? Who wants to be a Bible thumper? It's boring. You know what I mean? You might even say what? Because it said mix it with men's dung. You might say it's shitty. It's boring. Well, that's what the Lord's saying. Hey, sometimes life, hey, life can get shitty, right? And it's showing you that because worse things are about to come. Yeah, Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And Yahawah, BaHaSham Yahawashi, said, even thus shall the children, so all of you, it's not just him. So this thing is a thing we all gonna have to go through. Everybody has to go through the test. Everybody got to go through the hour of temptation, right? We're all in this place of captivity. Some of you keep trying to pretend like you're not, but the Lord is trying to show you through the prophets. Even as this time, He was showing them through the prophets. Take that man's dung, smash, mix it into and bake it, right? As an example. And so we're doing the same thing, so to speak, through the scriptures. Make it come alive, showing you videos, showing you this, showing you the telltale signs that this place is not your rest. And Yahawah BaHaSham Yahawashi BaHaSham QaDash, even thus shall the children of Israel, right? That's all 12 tribes here in America, Babylon the Great, eat their defiled bread amongst the Gentiles, right? Right here in Babylon the Great, amongst the Gentiles, eating defiled bread, defiled food, right? Lacham, right? Which means when you, like I do my prayer, it's a Barak Lacham, right? Meaning the bread, the food. You do your prayer. And before I learned, any more like words, because I knew like when you do Bethlehem, right? It means house of bread, right? So even when I first came into the truth, that was like that was just the only way I knew how to pray. I would just say, only way I knew how to pray in Hebrew, I would just say, Lord, bless, Laham, thank you. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I found out you can say Barak, Laham, and for a long time, that's all I would say, Barak, Laham. And then as I went on, it says Barak Ma'akal, Barak, Laham, right? Then, yeah. But, but eat your defiled bread amongst the Gentiles, whether I have driven you, right? And that couldn't be in the time that we were in Jerusalem, because in the siege, 70 AD, they were stuck in Jerusalem. And that's when they realized they were meeting the curses of Deuteronomy 28, because they had to eat their own children, which is, that part's going to come back again. But on top of that, you're already eating defiled bread. You're already eating defiled food. You're eating, man, 3D printed food. That's crazy, bro. Right? Then Yahawah said, thus the children of Israel will eat their bread unclean, right? Yeah, see, it's unclean and defiled among the nations where I have banished them, right? And that place we've been banished is where? America, Babylon the Great. This is not your rest, right? It says, then said I, look, like what? Like, what? Like, come on, Lord. What? It said, out of one, Yahawah, BaHaSham Yahawashi, behold, my soul have not been polluted. Like, hey, Lord, I ain't never polluted myself like that. Like, what? Oh, heck no. Nah. But this is the level that the Lord puts forth to a prophet, man. We've lost a lot of things. We've had to go to links and things that we would have never went through in order to be humbled. See, part of that is being humble in him, right? Right? Because you can't get because I remember when I was in church, there was always new levels and new devils. The Lord take you to new levels and new devils. Well, in order for that, you have to get humbled. See? And that's one thing in a black church, or just in these churches in general, but especially a black, you don't really want to be humbled. Right? That's a humbling thing to have to eat a man's excrement in front of everybody. This ain't no Lord saying, go behind the thing, smash it up and put it in the cake. Make sure nobody see you. No, he said, let everybody see you, which is going to make you what? A spectacle. People are going to be looking at you like, this nigga crazy, which that's what they do to us while we out there preaching. These niggas crazy. We the Jews. What? These dudes crazy, right? And that's the thing that's happening, right? In real time, right? But in real time, you're eating what? Defiled bread amongst your enemy, right? My soul have not been polluted from my youth up, even till now. I have not eaten of that which defileth of itself, or that dieth of itself. That the dieth of itself, or is torn, right? So it just was walking, and I don't know, the heat got to it and it just dropped dead. You go, oh, well, here's a nice piece of chicken or whatever thing that's lawful to eat, right? Because it would still have to be lawful, right? So, some type of a quail was just flying in the sky and it just dropped dead. You're like, yeah, that's a good idea. I guess I'll just go pick this up. You don't know what's in that quail. You don't know what made that quail just drop dead. Kind of like what they were saying about these chickens. They filled them up with so much different things, and they have to put these antibiotics on them, and they feel it that the chicken can't even walk. And a lot of times, the chicken just drops dead. And they throw it in the compactor and the thing, and pluck the feathers off of it, and send it down to the store anyway. Right? That's what they're doing. Right? I've seen one back in the day where they were taking the cow and just grabbing it with the machine. And while they were grabbing it with the machine, the cow, of course, it was scared. So it was excrements coming out of it. And they just dumped it right into the machine and killed it and grinded it up, turned it into meat, shipped it to the stores with the cow's excrement in it. Right? So it says, what was that? Yet till now, I have not, my youth up till now, I have not eaten of that which dieth of itself, or is torn in pieces. Neither come there abominable flesh unto my mouth, right? Any unclean foods, any unclean meats. But I say, right? Like what? Like, Lord. You're like I'm telling you, bro, you gotta put yourself, you gotta be like what? That's what he's, man, Lord, yeah, out of one, the power of the Most High, Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention, hear me. They say, hey man, hear me. Hey, I have never been defiled from my youth until now. I have never eaten what died on its own or was torn by beast, nor has any unclean meat ever entered into my mouth? What do you mean? Take a man's dung, mash it up into this thing, and bake it, and make it like a cake, and eat it like a cake. Are you, Lord? Are you sure? But you talking to me, Lord? I ain't never did no stuff like that. Because he probably like, look, I ain't one of these these jakes that's out there wilding out. Like, I've been righteous, Lord. Nah. Ain't no such thing. Show them. Do it in their sight. Show them that this is going to happen to all of y'all. Even you. That's what he told you. Hey, even you should be discontinued from your heritage. Right? Even you going to go into Babylon and eat this defiled bread. Yeah. Then he said unto me, lo, which means to look. Or right here it said, see, I have given the cow's dung, right? And that's like I said, I seen this video a long time ago. They were showing you how they treat the animals before they sell it to you. And the dude grabbed it from the machine and it was just pooping while it went in the machine. They grinded it up. And it was ground beef. You know what I'm saying? So, cow's dung for man. And thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith, right? This is how you going to eat. This your food. And this is a curse. This ain't because the Lord's saying, you guys been doing so good. I think I'm going to reward you. No, you've been doing bad. Even that's what Ezekiel was like, hey, look, I ain't never did this. No. But in your past life, you did something wrong. In your life that's about to come, you've done something wrong. This is going to humble you because I'm going to elevate you to another level spiritually. And this is going to humble you. It's going to show this is what's going to carry you over. This. Then should they know who am I chosen? These are part of the things of man, right? I think he even asked Ezekiel. Oh wait, he asked Ezekiel. Was it Ezekiel? He had to get naked in front of him. His wife died, and the Lord told him he bet not cry. Hey, you don't know what the prophets had to go through in order to bring you the message. But you cast the message off like it's nothing. Then he said unto me, see, I will let you use cow's dung instead of man's dung, over which you shall prepare your food. See, and this is where we're here. And the daughter of Babylon, literally, hey, today's Thanksgiving. You have literally prepared your food with cow's dung. Literally. Right? You think you're doing good. Hey, no. Thanks killing. Thanks for the thank you. Thank you, JC, for the was it 3D printed meat. Wow. Insane. Yeah. So it's the 2 King chapter 25, verse 27. And it came to pass in the 7th and 30th year, which is 37 years, of the captivity of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, in the 20th month, on the 7th and 20th day, so 27th of the month, so the 12th month, 27th day of the month, right? Like today the 27th, right? That evil Murdoch, right? King of Babylon. See, and it lets you know a person that's named evil Murdoch is not going to be good. It's not looking for your stuff to be not defiled, right? But they may look at you peaceable though, smile at you. Hey, come on over here. Evil Murdoch, king of Babylon, in the year that he begun to reign, he did lift up the head of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, out of prison. But we're in prison. This is what I'm trying to. You're in prison. This Babylon is our prison, right? America is our prison. You're not in a good place. This is our punishment. And he spake kindly to him, right? And all, you gotta be careful when your enemy speaks kindly to you. But of course, this thing, he was good in this. But just saying, I'm just using this as saying as an example, because this is the time that you're in. You're eating your defiled bread amongst your heathen. They speak kind of you, oh, blah 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 blah, but behind closed doors, only because the guy ended up having a recording saying this dude, oh, that's for Campbell's. Campbell's is for poor people. I ain't using no 3D. I ain't eating no 3D printed meat. That's the C word, right? Right along with the micro C hip. It's gonna bring forth pus that ooze from your hand, right? It's gonna give you the big C word, right? And he spake kindly to him and set his throne above the thrones of the kings that were with him in Babylon. So there were other nations that reigned underneath Babylon. You had the other kings, kind of like what Dumb and Dumber is talking about, vassals. But there ain't no vassal finna sit next to us or have anything. They ain't get no salvation. Even into this, the dude was in prison, so he's taking him out of prison and say, all right, since you're a king, I'll put you on. And it could be just because the Lord put it on his heart to do this. Most likely. The Lord ain't gonna never put it on our heart to lift up an Edomite. Oh, you just honorary Edomite. Let's come. Nah, not gonna happen. But okay, and changed his prison garments, right? and he did eat bread continually, right? Eat our defiled bread, but you're eating you always got something to eat. Supposedly, not really, because they're about to take that away from you. They're about to even take away that's the crazy part about it. Because this might be a psyop in itself. That all of a sudden you caught the dude say this stuff. You're gonna see people kill each other over this 3D printed meat, right? Did eat bread continually because before him all the days of his life, and oh wait, see, and this, always use this. This is the point that I'm trying to make right here. This right here, 30, and his allowance. He was a continual allowance given him of the king, right, of Babylon, the daily rate, right? Because this is what the time you're about to go into, where they're gonna rate you on what you can eat and what you can't eat. Matter of fact, they're gonna tell you you can't have meat today because you're past the carbon footprint to get your 3D meat. Your C word 3D meat, right? For every day, right? And that's what they're gonna say. This is your daily bread. And then it's gonna get so outrageous. They're even talking about how each person, depending on your own carbon footprint and your own social credit score, is based on what you're going to pay. So me and you can go into or buy the same thing off the internet, because they don't. I don't know if they want you to go into a store anymore. Maybe everything you got to buy is off the internet, and they're gonna take drones and deliver it to you, so you never leave your house. Yeah, if you do go to work or do something, you got to go 15 minutes away, and you got to come back. Get 15 minutes of sun every day. That's about the best you can do, right? But the point I'm making on this, even though this is, but when you listen to the words, they're talking about having a daily rate of food, right? Matter of fact, they're even talking about when you go into Revelations, is it 6? Talks about a day's wage in order to get your bread, to eat your food, because it talks about barley, and barley is how you make bread, right? You're gonna use a day's wage to make bread, to get your bread, your food, laham, your substance, right? And they're gonna put, which is what's called a universal basic income, right? So this is that whole universe. It's not a new thing, because that's what they're telling you. It basically gave him a universal basic income, right? This is your thing. I'm gonna put you over here. Yeah, it's gonna seem like you're living nice, but you ain't gonna be able to get. But you can only get whatever amount of rate that I give you, your daily rate. You can't exceed, or you can't go above that at any particular time, right? Right? You can't go above that at any particular time. You have to have this rate. Your social credit score has to be this. Your carbon footprint has to be this, and then depending on who you are, or your carbon footprint and your social credit score depends on how much you're going to pay for it. Because me and you can go into a place and buy the exact same thing, but mine's may be cheaper because my social credit score is better than yours, and you'll buy the same exact whatever, but you'll pay more because your social credit score is not up to par. So we can go to McDonald's or whatever and buy the same Big Mac, 3D Mac, 3D Mac, and you might pay more than me, and that's how they want it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not like the power, right? The Most High Yahawah, because the Lord said a false balance is in the bottom. That's a complete false balance. How can one person go in there and buy the exact same thing, one person be cheaper than the other person pays a lot more for the exact same thing? But that's the thing that they're doing, to price you out of things. And your only thing to make you feel like you're somebody is just your social status, right? Because you know how Esau is. Especially these Edomites, they think they're better than you. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to make sure that their social status, their social credit score, and their carbon footprint is up. Just that'll be the one thing that they can have over you, because you're going to own nothing and be happy as long as you're. And that's what they were. I believe that's who they were talking to. They weren't talking to Jakes. I believe they were talking to Edomites, if you think about it now. Because an Edomite is happy as long as he can seem like he's got some type of supremacy over Jake. He could be lied to. He could be totally used by the government, And everything that you hope to, and whatever, the American dream gets swiped out from underneath his feet. But he's happy as long as he's over a Jake, right? And that social credit score will be just good enough to say, look, inward, I'm better than you because my social credit score is better than yours. You know? I get to live on this side of the river, and I get to live on this thing, though we don't have any freedom. Everybody's micro C-hipped, and this devil's running everything. But as long as I'm, yeah, all right, forget it. Yeah, call all you Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Rawchaa QaDash. Like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To your sisters, you Yahawah, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all, Kwam Yasharallah, Baba Kusha. Hey, we got next, right? Yeah, Ababa Ball.